Yo, what's up, everybody? I was just here to shoot a quick video about October. As I'm shooting this is October, and right now I'm 140 plus pounds down from last year when I started my weight loss journey. Um, Last year I started my weight loss journey. It was July 2nd of 2024. And it was around October that I realized that, well, going into October, I realized that either I was going to undermake my end goal of hitting 100 pounds, which is just something I threw out there that I said I wanted to lose. But I didn't know how I'll get there. And heading into the month of October last year, it was just the same thing in my head then. It was basically just this idea of the scale was going down, but you, as you be out and as you know, as you're living, you basically see a reflection in mirrors and all these different things, and you look the same. That's where I was last year in October. And even though the scale was going down, I still felt that the changes weren't coming, or the changes weren't happening the way that I wanted them to be, or how I perceived them to be. Um, but towards the end of October, I realized that I would not only make my goal, but I would supersede it. So the way that I arrived to that point was basically giving myself permission to make those mistakes, giving myself permission to experiment and go through things when it came to weight loss, which is what I did last year of October. It was basically me trying out different things. I overworked out in some cases just to see if they'll make me lose weight faster. I tried fasting. I tried, just doing nonstop workouts, working out 7 days a week at times. And I will tell you that sometime it worked and sometime it didn't. There were days where, I worked out hard and I didn't lose anything. And I followed my calories, I tracked my calories, I did all those things. And the reason why is because you have to allow yourself to rest. You have to rest. You have to have grace and patience with yourself while you're on this weight loss journey. And you can't really rush the process. You can rush it, but you might not like the results that you have. I know that when I did do all the workouts and I did go down by more than 5 pounds, then you have concerns about the sagging skin. Well, that's probably because you're not resting. You're probably not consuming as much as you need to consume, and you're just undershooting your calories. Because I was doing drastically calorie counts of consuming under 1,200 calories at times, and just pushing it to see how less I can consume and still go hard in the gym. And that October last year was just a month of me just going through all these different things and almost in a way burning yourself out and going back to what works, and that was just being patient with yourself and just being human with yourself, allowing yourself to make those mistakes and giving yourself time to rest, giving yourself time to heal. Because I also did weeks in October where I didn't work out and still lost weight and just stuck strictly to my calories and how much I consume and eat clean and also eat processed, and just experiment with a lot of different foods and techniques, and just to ultimately find yourself back to consuming the foods that you want to eat, but having control over it and not letting the food have control over you, and having control over your workouts and not overdoing it, trying to get a result, enjoying your rest and appreciating the importance of rest. Just all these different things played a factor for me, and why October is such a significant month for me when it came to my weight loss journey and where I'm at today, being 140 pounds down, going from over 385 pounds to now I'm at 247 pounds. So I know that when we start the weight loss journey, we just want to get things, we just want to change. You just want to not go through a life on medication, or a life that's crippled or inhabited by medications and all these different things that you got to do. You just want to drop weight fast. And it could be a tough thing to do, but you have to listen to that rational yet resilient voice in your head that tells you that you can stay where you are, but you're going to be back in that same loop of, you know, being upset about where you are, where you're at, not liking yourself, not knowing what to do, but knowing what to do and refusing to commit to doing that to make your life better. You have to listen to that resilient voice, and it will be harsh at first, but that voice will eventually lead you to the steps that you have to take to be a person who write down all the things that you've done before that were difficult, that can get you past this weight loss journey. Because the hardest thing about the weight loss journey is the mental part of it. The physical part is fairly easy. That's why you see people lose weight and gain the weight back, because it's easy to tackle the physical part of the weight loss journey. It's difficult to attack the mental part of the weight loss journey. And that's why you need to listen to that resilient voice in your head. That voice will guide you through doing the mental steps to achieve the weight loss journey. The mental aspects of it is just basically you getting to that point of why you're sick and tired of being where you are, and why you want to take that step to being in a better life. And you know why that is. You don't want to have a life on medication. You don't want to have a life where you constantly, like how I was, you know, you putting on clothes, like you're working out for years. I worked out for years and just got bigger because I didn't, you know, do the nutrition in the kitchen. And, you know, you get tired of your clothes fitting weird, you know, sometimes they're tight, sometimes they're loose, and all these different things. And you just want to get to a point of just having something where you can finally have that control over your body. Like for me personally, I love watching professional wrestling growing up, still do. I like the strongman stuff, the World's Strongest Man. I used to watch that as a kid, and also, you know, reading the bodybuilding magazines and watching the bodybuilding shows when they were on TV and ESPN back in the day. And it always was I guess a kind of point where you kind of come jealous, where you see these people talk about how they're able to control and manipulate their body weight and build their body the way they want to do it. And, you know, well, now you know that they have a team helping them out to achieve that goal. But hearing people talk about that, and, you know, to sit there and envy them and wish that you could do the same thing, well, you can. But you have to educate yourself on that. And it doesn't take a long time to educate yourself on it. You can educate yourself on it and start working slowly, you know, to achieve that. And get to a point where you are tracking your calories. And then you do take the steps of understanding your total daily energy expenditure. Then moving on further to understand your macros and macronutrients and micronutrients. And moving on to tracking your protein, carbs, your fiber, your fat intake with a food scale. And pretty soon you'll find yourself being able to do the same thing that these people are able to do. So it's not a mental process. It's just a process of you being kind to yourself and having patience with yourself to do the mental work of it, to realize that this is a journey of you building a relationship, not only just with the food you eat, but with yourself. Because you allowed other people's projection of you and other people's ideas of you to be your reality, and you're just coming to terms that it's just not true, and that's not what you agree with. So you're getting to the point of understanding who you are and building a better relationship with you, and how to talk to yourself to encourage yourself to achieve the things that you want to achieve. That's the ultimate goal of a weight loss journey. That's basically the whole entire goal of it. And like I said before, you had to listen to that resilient voice that you have in your head, and it's going to push you and it's going to drive you to outline all these reasons of why you need to do this journey and why you need to succeed at this journey and why it's not that difficult. And basically, it's a two-part process. The physical aspect of the weight loss journey is fairly quick. You will lose weight fast. Yeah, it took, like I said before, it took me 3 months to get to a point where, the weight was going down on the scale, but I still felt that I looked the same. And it took 2 more months for me to get to the point of saying that, I can achieve this journey. But that was only because I then started to see my body change the way that I wanted to change. Even though the scale was always going down, I still looked in different mirrors and those things and saw who I was before. And that like I said, is a 2-part journey. The physical part, you will lose weight fairly quick. It doesn't take long for you to drop a lot of pounds and lose weight. But the long part of the journey, and that's the part that you need to really focus on, is the mental aspect of it. This journey will take a long time because you've been operating for so long with the idea and the persona and the identification in your mind of you being this one person. And you're undoing all those things that people said about you that weren't true, all those things that you allow yourself to believe about people that aren't true. And as you go start taking these steps to work on a weight loss journey, it is that point of tearing yourself away or tearing down those walls of a comfort zone and those former ideas and beliefs, because you're tearing yourself away from what other people believe about you. And you're finding your way back, or you're tearing all these walls down to find you, yourself. And there will be times where you have other people saying that that's not enough, or well, not that's not enough, but you don't need to embark on a journey, or you don't have to change yourself, or don't lose too much, or don't do this, or don't do that. A lot of these people need their ideas of you, or what was the idea of you, to be true, so that they can maybe have something to talk about, or whatever it is, that so where they can find comfort. Because maybe you were the person that they look down on, or they, whatever can go bad in their life, they can always know that at least they're not you. You know? And that's the way they talk to you, and that's the place that they have you in. And as you begin to take steps to build a better relationship with yourself and become a better person, you're no longer that person. You never was that person. And now you're taking steps forward and striving forward, and it can push people to not like what you're doing, and they'll try to do things to sabotage you, or they'll try to make it their business to test you and put foods in front of you to see if they'll hinder your progress or whatever it may be. And it doesn't matter if they do, because you have discipline. You can afford to binge and do all these different things, and because you have a journey of where you're going. You're doing the mental work. And it doesn't matter if you binge one day or a week or whatever, you're still going to meet your goal, because at the end of the day, your goal is what you're going for, is that weight loss journey, that number or that amount of pounds that you want to lose. So listen to that resilient voice in your head. It's going to give you your why. It's going to give you your determination. It's going to lead you to your decision. It's going to help you stay consistent in that journey and build that discipline from that consistency, and give you that awareness on what routes to take, so that you can be the best that you can be on this journey. Like I stated before, that October is a month of significance for me. I was able to push forward in a lot of things, and like I said before, I'm a different person, but there are different aspects of your personality that are still there that you have to go back into address. The mental journey is one that it's something that takes place every day. You're pushing yourself every day to strive and be better. I had an interview yesterday, but I had to reschedule, and I was just looking through like shirts, and I put on this shirt, and it's a shirt that I used to wear all the time in like interviews, but now, like I said before, I'm 140 pounds down, so I could finally button the shirt all the way up to the top button, But I noticed that when I put that shirt on and got ready for the interview, all these feelings of being nervous came back, and not being enough, and all these different things. And like I said before, I did end up rescheduling the interview and doing it today, and everything went well. It went great. But it was just another reminder that we have to improve on all areas of our lives. And we have to control our self-image and our self-talk to ourselves. So basically, I was nervous about everything, couldn't calm myself down, and today it was just me taking the situation and saying that, I wasn't nervous, I was just excited, which I was. Your service, and I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to starting something new, a new journey, and basically just calming myself down and giving myself a proper talk about the situation. It's just a new opportunity. These people on the other end of the line and on the other side of this video chat, these people are just, looking for a good interaction, just like me. And, and ultimately, I'm the one who's controlling, like being proactive in the conversation, and you're not just being led along, and you don't have any value, and you're not just putting yourself out there and feeling like you're being attacked. You're being proactive, and you're leading the conversation, and you're working as a group, and you're being collaborative. Those are all the positive things that I put in my mind, and everything went great in the interview. But putting on that old shirt brought back old memories and old feelings of how I used to view, the interviewing process. And I noticed that immediately after, I rescheduled from yesterday, and I said I, definitely had to do better and, just take back control of the situation and realize that there was more work to do. You know, like, yeah, I improved in all these other areas. I got them under control. I don't fear new experience with people or anything like that. But when it came to the interviewing experience, that you tend to shut things off and put them in a different box of, like, then you open up this interviewing box and go in and do things there versus just letting things be and what it is and experiencing it. And, instead of cooking up an idea of what it's going to be, you just let it be and you be proactive and you bring your best self and present your best image and make everything the best situation that it can be. And that was basically my goal, and that's what I achieved. And so basically you want to give yourself, it's the same thing on this weight loss journey of when you're starting it, of when you're listening to that resilient voice and giving yourself that positive self-talk about all the things you've done before where you were successful at. You'll also be successful in this weight loss journey. Like I said, it's two-part. It's mental and it's physical. The physical part of the weight loss journey will go by quick. You will lose the weight quickly. Although, like I said before, with myself, it took months for me to realize mentally, that the changes are going and I'm going to eventually start losing the weight and build my body the way that I wanted to build it. Because the weight was coming off. The scale was going down every week, but it wasn't the quick as you wanted it to be. So give yourself patience with that part of it, because physically the weight loss is going to happen pretty quick. Mentally is where all the work is done. The way that you identify yourself, your self-image, the way that you talk, the energy that you give off when you come into a room or on video or on the phone, or how other people perceive you when you react to certain things, and just all these different aspects of things that you're rebuilding each and every day. Each and every day of you being consistent, of you being disciplined, you're contributing to building that image of who you're becoming while on this weight loss journey. So I just want to talk to you guys about me being revisiting October, the month where I really just tapped into really nailing home the goal of losing 100 pounds from last year, and comparing that to this year and some of the things that I'm still working through on my weight loss journey. So I hope this was able to inspire some of you guys. Like I said before, I do offer free coaching on my Patreon, so I will list that in the description. I also do free coaching here on YouTube every week. So if you need help starting that weight loss journey, please go back and look through some of the videos and get the files, download the files, and join in and take part in the journey. All right, peace.